about retailing and wholesaling today, and I'm going to give you a critical thinking challenge, and I'm also going to give you a critical thinking challenge for Thursday, because on Thursday we'll talk about integrated marketing, communication, advertising, and PR. And this is really the fun part when you get to advertising, PR, integrated marketing, and communication. The really, really fun part of the semester is we get to watch ads. And you all get to choose the ads that we're going to get to watch as part of your critical thinking challenge. So it's a lot of fun. It's the part that most students absolutely love. It's the part that I really like because it is the most entertaining. And it's the part, unlike logistics, that people actually remember and think of as being marketing, because that's what they're used to seeing every day in these ads on television and stuff like that. So it's the really entertaining part, and like I said, you guys get to choose the ads that we'll get to watch, so I want you to start thinking about that. But today we need to talk about retailing and wholesaling. Retailing is an enormously important aspect of our system. In fact, a huge percentage of our gross domestic product is as a result of retailing. And consumer demand really is the engine that drives our post-industrial economy. 4 of the 30 largest businesses in the United States are retailers. Wal Mart, Costco, Home Depot, and Target. Walmart is the largest private employer in the world. Let me say that again. Walmart is the largest private employer in the world. If Walmart were a country, its GDP would be larger than many, many, many countries, and its number of citizens is certain, or its number of employees certainly outnumbers the number of citizens of many of the smaller states in the world today. So it is a huge conglomerate, and it is a massive business, and it contributes an enormous amount to our GDP. So I was thinking about this the other night. I finished reading a book called Too Big to Fail, and it was about the stock market bubble and the housing crash that resulted as a result of investment banks and insurance companies investing in things called collateralized debt obligations. And these were subprime mortgages that they wrapped in insurance packages and sold off as bits and pieces. And because they wrapped them in these very unique products, financial products, they were AAA rated. And then we saw what happened in 2008 and 2009 with the housing market bubble and collapse. And so we bailed out AIG, Lehman Brothers, Chase Manhattan Bank, Goldman Sachs, all of these things. And the idea was that they had such a huge impact on the economy that they were too big to fail. So I want you to answer this question. Is Walmart, as the largest employer in the world, private employer in the world, and a huge multi-billion-dollar company, is it too big to fail? So that's today's critical thinking challenge. Is Walmart too big to fail? Or will someone else come along and replace Walmart? In the greater scheme of things, will somebody build a bigger mousetrap, better mousetrap than Walmart? Why has Walmart been so successful? So, is Walmart too big to fail? Why? Will Walmart be replaced? If so, by which firm? All right, so I'll give you about 20 minutes to do that, 15, 20 minutes. Think about this. Think about who could replace Walmart. It's a huge, massive thing. Get in your groups, come up with an answer, and we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about it. All right. So let's see. Each group has a leader, right? Who's your team leader for today? Stand up.
He said, You got time.
1, 2, 3, you're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so let's start with number 1. What's your name?
So we wrote that we thought Walmart was too big to fail because they have just ridiculous profit margins because they sell everything. And they're also, they don't have a niche market because they sell everything, so people stop buying houses and Home Depot fails. Walmart's still going to keep kicking. Doesn't matter if you stop buying Angel lawnmowers, they'll still be there. They got deals with everybody, so it's cheaper for them to buy stuff so they can sell things for cheaper. And they also have like Sam's stuff with Costco, so they don't really have a competitor. Because their closest competitor is Target, and let's be honest, Target's nowhere near where Walmart is. So that's kind of what we decided that they couldn't fail, and no one can really step up to replace them.
Okay, so you guys pointed out something that I've talked a lot about, which is Walmart is the largest seller of a lot of stuff. The largest seller of soap, clothing, textiles, the largest seller of foods, the largest seller, retailer of diamonds now in the world. So, okay, so you've got a lot of stuff. They've got a very broad product line, right? And that's one way we classify retailers is by how much they carry. Are they narrowly focused on one special thing, or are they really broad and they've got a broad one? Okay, number 2. Good answer?
Harder put, yes, Walmart is too big to fail only because it's got 1.4 million employees in the U.S. alone, which you can't throw back into the workforce because there's not nearly enough jobs, so it'll crash our economy again. So yes, there would have to be a government bailout for that as well.
Do you think the government would actually bail out Walmart?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And to answer your second question, if it did somehow fail and the government didn't bail them out, it would have to be departmentalized to take the same profit share, the same market share, and to be replaced. I don't think another company could just step in and replace Walmart by itself. Target, Costco, anybody would be able to do that with at least today's technology.
Okay.
That's at least where we stand.
Okay. Should we bail out companies? Yes or no?
No.
Some economists say yes, some say no. It's, that's why it's the visible science. They don't ever, it's a shallow discipline. They don't ever get anything right. Number 3. Good, I like your statistic on, you looked about how many employees actually have.
So we kind of went along with what Jay said about having a broad product line. It seems like Walmart's more of a being replaced, Target, Home Depot, Costco, all those places. Because where I live at, there's 3 Walmarts within 10 miles of each other. So it kind of goes along with that. And then if they will be replaced, it has to be by somebody that has the same type of product line that has everything. So
Okay.
I mean, right now, Walmart's the only one that actually does that. So
They're the only ones.
they're one of the major ones that does it.
Target doesn't do the same thing.
I mean, they don't have as much as Walmart does, and Walmart has cheap prices too.
Okay. All right. Very good. We're at 4, right?
We said that the only way Walmart could fail is if overseas trades were limited.
Oh, so if we started being protectionist again and they couldn't get cheap goods? Okay. You're shaking your head yes. I'm not putting words in your mouth. Okay.
That's what we said.
Okay. So you don't think they could fail? If they did fail, who would replace them?
Target.
Target.
But they
Okay.
don't
So we
offer as many things as Walmart does. But
okay. All right. Number 5.
We said that they are too big to fail. They match prices, and they have pretty much every product you ever want. There's so many jobs that small towns that depend on Walmart. If it was going to be replaced, it would have to be bought out by another large company like maybe Target, with very similar merchandise. But we don't think that would happen.
You think Walmart will be around forever?
Well, it won't be bought out by Target.
Won't be bought out by Target. Okay.
You have to have it, get a large.
Okay. All right. Number 6, is that right? Is it 6?
So anything can happen, but Walmart is too big to fail. I mean, they've taken the time to adjust for everything, or for all the needs of their customers. They have everything from A to Z, like you said, the diamonds, nuns, and a couple of last years ago, you were talking about the inventory management that they there's really no, firm that will replace them.
Okay, so one of the things that you focus on is that they have all this, and somebody else focused on the just-in-time inventory. They are their own wholesaler, basically. If you go just across the border south, for example, right before you get to Denton, Texas, on the east-hand side of I-35 is a Walmart distribution center. And so part of this chapter talks about wholesaling. And we talked about wholesalers adding value as intermediaries before. And Walmart's basically their own wholesaler. And they've got their own sort of vertically integrated transportation logistics and stuff like that. And this huge center right south of the Oklahoma, Texas border is an example of that, how they have got this just ginormous impact on the economy. Okay, number 7.
My group and I said that Walmart is too big to fail because we did a comparison and said that Crest was the closest one. Even though many people don't know about Crest, it still offers like the nail salon, it has the food, it could possibly carry the clothing line, but it does have lower prices than Walmart. We said that if we were to go on vacation, we could find a Walmart and we would know exactly where everything is because of the setup and how it's been the same since basically 1964. It has successful business life cycle, excuse me, and it has many partnerships like with McDonald's and all this other stuff. Like there's Subways, so basically it cannot fail. Like it'll always have some source of income.
Okay, all right. I like the fact that you focused in on a local chain, which is Crest. They're not nationally. They were formed in Oklahoma. But maybe you could get these small conglomerates in local areas that could fill the need because they do offer all of those other services. They have banking in Crest. They have a nail salon, like you said. They have a hair salon. They actually have somewhat better service. For example, if you want specialty cuts of meat, you can actually get that at Crest. You can actually get a butcher to cut what you want, and you don't get that at Walmart. Walmart, you have what they have out on the shelves. Right? There's no specialization there.
They also have like a request card that says if they don't carry what you want, you can request it and they'll get it for you.
Yeah.
Where at Walmart is like you just get what they get.
Yeah.
From what they have.
Yeah. All right. Number 8.
We said that Walmart won't fail in the near future because it covers all parts of the market, such as brick and mortar, wholesale with Sam's, and also online retail.
Okay, so that's important, yeah.
And especially because it has the lowest prices no matter what with their programs like Savings Catcher, where if anyone around you has lower prices, they send you a gift card for what you didn't spend, which makes you go back to Walmart and spend that gift card. The only threat that we saw is Amazon Prime and its new dash button. It kind of is making shopping obsolete. If you run out of Tide or you run out of dishwash detergent, press a button, 2 days later it's on your porch. So if technology continues to go in that route, then shopping won't be necessary. But so far Walmart has made all the necessary transitions into technology, so they'll probably find some way to come up with a solution for that.
Okay, so that's really important. One of the things that I think that is that you recognize that is vital in this current climate is this disintermediation of the market as a result of the internet and what that has allowed in terms of consumer convenience. And Amazon actually offers a lot of convenience, doesn't it? Because you don't have to go and put up with the Yeti at Walmart to get your stuff. And they have just about as broad a product line as Walmart does in terms of all of the textiles and stuff like that. Okay, so very good. Number 9? Who's number 9? Your 9?
We actually said that nothing is technically too big to fail, but the likelihood of it failing is pretty slim because it employs so many people. Like Proof said, there's a good chance of being bailed out by the government. And the only chance of it really being replaced would probably be regionally. For example, like say Nichols Hills or Edmond, I mean, the income is higher, so people are more likely to go to Crest or Whole Foods or something like that. Whereas in Midwest City or Del City, most of the people are going to go to Walmart or Target or something like that. So that's really the only likelihood of anything Walmart being replaced regionally.
So have you seen the ad, Stupid Rich? It's some people are stupid rich, and like the two ladies are, bidding against each other, mother and daughter, they're bidding against each other, and the daughter says, like Daddy always says, money doesn't spend itself, right? So maybe in nickel sales, yeah, I don't think that those people are shopping at Walmart a lot, maybe, because they don't want to put up with that, but okay, that's an important observation. All right, 10.
We said that Walmart has major authority in the market and they may not have the best customer service, but they have prices that some people can't afford to go anywhere else. So for example, Target's main focus is on the customer, but their prices are higher and they're targeting higher income consumers. They are paying for the nicer environment, better customer service, and higher end products that may not be available at Walmart. And we said if another company comes in to compete with Walmart, they'll have trouble making profits because their prices will have to be as low as, if not lower, with Walmart. And KK found something that said if Walmart closes down, the stocks will crash and unemployment will increase by 1 to 1.5% because of how many people they employ. And I think one of the only things, like right now with technology and stuff, that Walmart isn't doing is like the online shopping and stuff that some like Uptown and stuff are doing, where you can just go on and select what you want and then pull up and they put it in your cart for you so you don't have to actually shop for it.
Or like Amazon is doing with the online, but I think Walmart will get there. I mean, they're moving in that direction in terms of their online services. So, all right. You talked about service. One of the things that Walmart, I think service is a continuum, and keeping people is maybe important. We moved my boat. I think I told you all this several weeks ago. We moved my boat from Texas to the port of Muskogee, and we were setting up, and we went to Walmart, and they didn't have something that I wanted or needed at Muskogee Walmart, so we ran over to Kmart, and they had it, and then we decided to take it back, and we didn't use it because they weren't going to let us set up this thing that we wanted to put up on the dock. And so I took it back, and Kmart was like, I had the receipt, I hadn't opened it, it was still in the box, and they're giving me a hard time about taking it back. So isn't Walmart slightly better in service? Isn't maybe that one of the reasons that Kmart started to fail? Is that Walmart would take, Walmart used to would take stuff that you didn't even buy at Walmart. And they're at least better than Kmart. I was sitting there and she's like, it looks like you opened it to me. And I'm like, it was not open. The tape is still on there. You people crunched the box. And at least Walmart had somewhat better service, but it's certainly not even Market's level of service, right? Okay, 11.
We said that, well, it's not likely that Walmart would ever fail. It's not impossible. If they fell under poor management sometime along in the future and they stopped evolving with the new changes, such as you talked about Amazon, if they don't continue to evolve as that, they could lose some of their market share. But if they did fail, we said we believe a company like Target would grow in size, but because the Walmart's so huge, it's actually 6 times, I think, is what we read, 6 times the market share of what Target has. We believe that it would, no individual company could fully replace Walmart's portion. So stores like Walgreens, Homeland, Costco, stuff like that, because Walmart has the pharmacy branch and then they have the produce section, so all their market share would be dissolved amongst more than just one thing like Target. So.
Okay. All right. Number 12.
Okay, we said that Walmart is too big to fail, and that there is a reason that McDonald's and Walmart have partnered up together, because Walmart is so globally recognized and brings such a wide variety of customers. That even if Walmart were to fail, it would take years to actually replace the brand that they have succeeded in. And we don't necessarily think that any of the 3 in the running with Walmart could take over like the brand. Like Target, like they were saying how it targets a higher income class, and even like they introduced like that Lily Pulitzer thing. And so we don't necessarily think that any company that's already out there could replace Walmart. That may be someone that hasn't been discovered yet, like Crest or something would.
Okay, so one of the things that you're focusing on is like the culture. I think Target has a totally different culture than Walmart, and it would be very difficult to change maybe that culture, because Target actually started out as being a department store. They were bought by a department store, and so they had that experience with, for example, working with designers from that, and that's a big deal to Target, to have that sort of image of still having more of a department store feel than maybe Walmart, which is a totally self-service type retail environment. Okay, number 14? No, 13. Are we in 13? 13. All right.
So we said Walmart is too big to fail because of the countless people they employ. 244 billion in revenue last year. We also stated that government would just bail them out again. Walmart's in good with the federal government. George Bush even presented them with Walmart founder Sam Walton with Medal of Freeman, highest award presented to a civilian. Also, Walmart destroys small businesses, so not much competition because they control so much of the market. Also, like Walmart, they've been producing electronic innovations recently, such as the VHS to DVD transfer, which can be really convenient because if you had like VHS tapes from like family documentaries or just different stuff like that, now you can, there's like a value of co-creation with that and customization, you know, and so that's really helpful and can really create a repeat customer. But also with the price match guarantee, as they echoed earlier, and the super savings. Like recently, I went to Walmart. I was interested in this video game. Its retail price was $60, but I looked on Walmart's website and they had it for $40. And so I talked with the guy there, and he was like, "Okay, I'll give it to you at $40." And so he had his supervisor come over. The whole thing went smoothly, and so that was really convenient also. And Walmart's also a jack of all trades, but also we said Target is the best competitor. As they echoed earlier, they won't sacrifice their workplace standards though for higher sales, and so they probably won't compete though because Walmart, they just have those everyday low prices and just those other innovations. So.
Okay, it's very difficult to compete against the 300-pound gorilla on the block because they have so much control of the market and so much, and as we talked about before, they have reversed the power structure in the channel, where it used to be the manufacturer had all the power in the channel and they drove the price through the channel by setting that initial price. Walmart has reversed that by saying, if you want to do business with Walmart, we're going to tell you what we'll pay. And that has reversed the power picture, so that's a big deal. All right, 14?
So our group said that Walmart may not be too big to fail, but it may not fail necessarily. It could be more of, because they have such a big market share, they sell everything, but it's somewhat limited because they sell all sorts of items, all sorts of goods. There are more specialty stores that have a wider selection and with sometimes better prices. And so with consumers nowadays, they're a bit more specific. They have certain needs that Walmart might not be able to provide, and so they can go to a different source, an alternative, who might have a better selection, who might be able to give them what they need. Because consumers nowadays seem like they want certain things, and Walmart may not have everything because they sell it, or a good chunk of everything.
Okay, so one of the things that you focused on, and we can classify retail establishments in different ways, by forms of ownership, things like that. One of the ways we can classify it as is in terms of service. Specialty stores generally have higher levels of service, right? And one of the things that may be bad about Walmart is that if you want just one thing, and you want a specialty item, for example, you have to wade through massive amounts of other products to get to, and you know where the kind of layout is, but still, if it's at the back wall in electronics and that's what you want, you're having to go through a lot of stuff, and then you have to get up to the register, and they always act surprised that they have customers in Walmart, right? And so it may be easier to run in, and you may pay more money to be able to run into, for example, a store and just get that one product that you want, a specialty item or something.
Well, I know I have people at Walgreens that don't do that. I work at Walgreens, and I have people that, I hate Walmart, I never go there.
Okay.
They'll be willing to pay significantly more.
All right, do you have anything else?
Yeah, and they wouldn't necessarily, I don't think they would ever necessarily fail, but they could lose a bit of their market share to other stores, like either local businesses or different companies, because they might do better, while Walmart might not be able to keep up with certain trends or updates. Other stores who are more specialized can do so. or they could say sell a smaller variety. They can have more of that certain product and sell it for cheaper, and Walmart might not be able to compete with that. Or like what Drew said, or e-commerce is jumping into the mix and making it more difficult for Walmart to compete.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point, is that because of the size of their market share, they have nowhere to go but down. I mean, once you get to a certain point of the market share, you have nowhere to go but down. You cannot grow any back. I mean, there's just not, there's nothing left to consume. Yeah, like McDonald's. Okay, 15.
We said that any business can fail, but for Walmart to fail, a bunch of things will have to go wrong. For example, if they do like what any wrong thing, they could easily fail. For the second one, we said that nobody can replace Walmart because they have a deep impact on the economy and people.
Okay, so you said any business can fail. That's true. Any business can fail. And we have let certain businesses fail. They let, at the beginning of the financial crisis, they let some of the financial firms fail, and it wasn't until there was a lot of pain that the government jumped in. And so any business can fail. I think that there is nothing that cannot be absolutely replaced at some level. All right, 16?
Okay, we said that only if the world's economy were to start feeling that Walmart would fail. One country's economy isn't going to really affect it just because of its wide distribution and its size. But we said if it were to be replaced, it'd be, I mean, first of all, it'd be very hard simply because of price, because Walmart has strong relationships with producers who will supply like a low-cost product to the consumer. Like they have their thing where it's like, if you find a lower price somewhere else, we're going to lower it. So they can hit such a low price and still survive because of their size, whereas a lot of other companies can't. We thought if anyone were to replace it, we thought of Amazon like the other group, but it's still kind of a different service because it's online. And while they can reach somewhat of a different distribution, it'd be harder for them to reach third world countries than Walmart, simply because they have to use a computer to get on Amazon.
Okay. But it could fail in the United States.
Yeah.
And there, I mean, Walmart is not necessarily in every single country. Lots of countries don't want Walmart to come in. Okay? Are we on 17? Yeah.
You said it is unlikely for Walmart to fail. We found that it generates, it was $1.8 million per hour, which is more than enough in a day to kind of gain control and situate themselves if anything happens. But we did say it would take an economic disaster for it to just completely fall, or a situation to occur much like the one that just happened, where multiple Walmarts close within a few hours, leaving, hundreds of people unemployed. A lot of people have said that there was that whole plumbing issue. So what Walmart did was they said, we'll get you set up at a different Walmart, or we'll get you taken care of, we'll find something we can do. So the service of that makes it seem different. As far as it being replaced, if it was replaced, it would be by someone who's a perfect competitor, someone who has almost the exact same setup or better. Like we've talked about services, probably the service part of that. A lot of people say, I wouldn't go to Walmart if I didn't have to. Well, if they think that they can provide the same thing or better, they would probably choose that.
So it's kind of like the South Park episode when they're trying to kill the Walmart, and they are going to the CEO, and they're like, you have to go to the back, the very heart of the store, the electronics department, to get to the soul of Walmart. And the heart of Walmart is us, right? Because we all go there, and we want the cheap goods and stuff like that. And so we are the heart of Walmart. All right, very good.
Walmart's the place that everyone hates because
yeah, I think you all had some good answers. Anything can fail. Any business can. If we went back in time again, the largest retailer at one point in time was like Sears and Roebuck, and you could get every single thing that you could imagine from the Sears and Roebuck catalog. And today, Sears and Roebuck is gone. In fact, they partnered with Target, and they're largely gone. And they're failing. Now, it will be a long death for Walmart, but could it fail? Absolutely. I think it could. If you look at the wheel of retailing, for example, in your textbook. And I think Amazon has a real possibility of challenging Walmart because when you all focused, number 17, you guys focused on when the Walmart stores failed, right?
Yeah.
Was that the electronic POS systems all went down? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was the plumbing.
Okay, well, they actually had a problem with the POS systems not that long ago where several stores, the point of sale system went down.
Yeah,
And guess what platform they were running when it went down? And this will give you an example of how Walmart may be behind the curve. They're running XP. And so, I mean, this is a non-supported platform. So you've got Amazon that could. So as outlets start out, they generally start out with low prices, low margin, low status. That's how Walmart started out. Sam Walton actually didn't start owning a Walmart. He didn't call it Walmart to begin with. He owned Ben Franklin, which was a 5 and dime store. And 5 and dimes were very popular. Woolworths was one of the largest businesses in the country at one point in time. And Woolworths is gone. Woolworth is gone. Ben Franklin is largely gone. 5 and dimes are largely gone. But that's what he started out buying. And then he created his own brand. And the first store was called Walton's in Arkansas, and then later Walmart. And so it has transformed. So they start out as low service, low cost providers, low margins. And then what did Walmart do as Sam Walton built the business? They started adding more. Things like the tire department, clothing, other things, and higher lines, having more service, right? And then you go to the second one, you start with outlets, higher prices, higher margin. From that to still higher prices, and then new forms entering and retailing. So I think that there is an opportunity for Walmart to fail, but it will be a long death. Lots of businesses that we thought couldn't fail before, again, Sears and Roebuck, largely gone. Not necessarily the market leader that they once were. And I think I told you all that at one point in time you could even buy from the Sears and Roebuck catalog entire homes, and they would ship them to you. These kit homes where everything was labeled and you just put it together. And so they were an enormously important retailer that is no longer of much prominence in the market today. So look at how you can classify retail. You should know that for the exam. You can classify it by ownership, independent retailers. There are 1.1 million retail establishments in the United States, and I think a lot of these independent retailers are taking over and finding niche markets in which they can compete, even though they're higher prices, because we don't necessarily want to go to Walmart and spend the amount of time that it takes to get through all of the chaos that there is out there to buy that one item. How many of you have just like dreaded, you just need one thing, and you dread going to Walmart? It's like you're a man, and you'll go to Homeland, even though the prices are slightly higher at Homeland in many instances because there's not going to be the line of 20 people. Although some things Homeland is actually a lot cheaper on now than Walmart. And for example, red bell peppers. I like bell peppers. I like stir fry a lot, and so I had red bell peppers the other night. They're 79 cents at Homeland. They're $1.79 at Walmart right now. So there are those. You've got to kind of look around, and it's a much better environment. Corporate chains, things like Macy's. That's another type of ownership that we can use to classify. Contractual systems like Associated Grocers, Independent Grocers Association, things like that. Then we can classify retail establishments by level of service that they offer. Self-service. Mostly Walmart is self-service. They don't know a lot. They don't have a lot of product information or knowledge. Limited service. Although they have got some more services at Walmart. They have financial services, for example. You can get money orders, postage stamps, things like that. And then you have full service. Things like, what's a full service retailer? Macy's, Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, they actually have concierge services and things like that. We can classify them by types of merchandise line. Depth of lines and breadth of lines. Breadth means that you have a lot. Depth means that you have a lot in a certain category. So Sam's. Does Sam's have a lot of depth in their product lines? Some of you mentioned Sam's in your papers. Does Sam's or Costco have a lot of breadth?
Yes, they have a lot of different stuff.
They have breadth, do they have depth? No. If you go to Sam's and you want razors, how many types of razors do they have? They have two. They have like one for men and one for women. If you go to Walmart, what's the depth of the product line in razors? There's a lot more. You can get the ones that you replace the cartridges, right? The handles are really cheap, but they gouge you on the cartridges. Or the 4-blade, 3-blade, 2-blade, things like that. So you can classify it by breadth and depth of product line. Direct mail and catalogs, those are still important, although the internet, again, with disintermediation, which we talked about in channels, is beginning to affect that. Telemarketing is largely as a result of the no-call list, and cell phones struggled in recent decades. However, how many of you still are getting calls on your cell phone now from peddlers, even though you're on the no-call list? I've gotten several. I'm like, I'm on the no-call list, stop calling me.
Is it limited to what it costs more?
It should be, but trying to get somebody to prosecute is nearly impossible. Let's look at wholesaling. You should know the different types of wholesalers, merchant wholesalers, independent forms that take title to the merchandise and that they handle and place it. William E. Davis used to be this. They've been bought out by U.S. Foods. They sell directly to restaurants and things like that. Agents or brokers, again, when we talked about, this is similar to when we talked about channels, don't necessarily take title to the product. They bring people together. And then you should know about manufacturers, branches, and offices. All right, so for Thursday, for integrated marketing communication, advertising, and promotion, I want you and your groups to pick out 2 ads so that you have an heir and a spare in case somebody else has the same ad that you come up with. And tell me what makes the ad that you chose great. Why do you think, what makes a great ad? Why did you choose the ad that you came up with? And we'll look at your advertisements on Thursday. It's a lot of fun. So it's an enjoyable part. Take some time to look at ads and come up with an heir and a spare in case somebody else has your ad. They take it before you.